Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar focused on project accounting's new feature called WorkCenters, coming in September 2026. My name is Monica Kaufman, and on behalf of the Cardinal team, we thank you for joining us today. For today's agenda, I'll give you a quick overview of what to expect in today's webinar and fill you in on the Cardinal Upgrade project. I'll then turn it over to our wonderful presenter, Eric Palmer, who will give you a walkthrough of the new Projects and Contracts WorkCenters, along with a live demonstration, giving you a preview and a better understanding of what you will see upon go live. We will reserve some time at the end for some Q&A before we wrap up. If you have requests for additional enhancements beyond what you see today, please enter a help desk ticket rather than entering them in the chat to ensure that your request is captured. These requests will be reviewed before we go live and stabilize the upgraded system. In this webinar, we are featuring enhancements to the project accounting functional area as a result of the Cardinal Upgrade. If we don't discuss a particular Cardinal function, it is most likely unchanged as part of the upgrade. We are updating all job aids and other training materials, which will be made available to you prior to the upgrade. Retaking training will not be required, although you are certainly welcome to consider it. Let me tell you a bit about the Cardinal Upgrade project. The Cardinal team is enhancing both Fin and HCM, upgrading these applications to the latest PeopleSoft releases. We started the project in September 2025 and plan to go live with the upgraded system on September 8th, 2026. The upgrade includes over 1,400 enhancements aimed at improving the user experience and overall system functionality. Our summer webinars are designed to help you become familiar with many of the new features of the upgrade. Okay, so let's move on to project accounting new features. I'm now going to turn it over to Eric.
Hi, everyone. My name is Eric Palmer, and I'm a member of the Cardinal training team. And with me, of course, is Tony Spears, our project accounting module lead for Cardinal post-production support. In case you didn't know, Cardinal Financials overall is getting a fresh new look, which is so exciting. Financials currently has a heavy text layout, lengthy menu lists with nested folders, and often involves a lot of scrolling, hovering, and a lot of clicks. The upgrade will change all of that. The Cardinal Upgrade, as you can see from this image, will have a clean, modern look with simplified, tile-based navigation, which puts you just one click away from key tasks that you perform daily. One of the biggest changes with the Cardinal Upgrade is the introduction of WorkCenters. And for project accounting, that includes a work center for projects and another work center for contracts. Let's take a few minutes to watch a short video that will provide information about Cardinal Financial's WorkCenters. This video will feature Kate, who is a voucher processor. And while Kate will be providing information and an example using the Accounts Payable or AP WorkCenter, the benefits and the functionality she's highlighting apply to all of the Cardinal Financial's WorkCenters. So with that said, let's watch the video.
Meet Kate. She's a voucher processor. And probably just like you, Kate has to go to a number of different pages in Cardinal to complete her daily work.
It would be so nice to have one place to go to access the tasks I need to do today. I probably get even more work done.
Guess what, Kate? We are introducing Cardinal WorkCenters, a centralized hub for completing your daily tasks. WorkCenters reduce navigation time and improve productivity. You can review action items that contain counts so you know how many require attention. Apply flexible filters, complete tasks, and run reports and queries all in one place. Yes, you heard right, all in one place. Starting from the Cardinal Financials homepage, let's take a look at the Accounts Payable or AP WorkCenter tile and go through one of Kate's daily tasks.
As a voucher processor, one of my daily tasks is entering vouchers. This includes searching for the supplier, entering the voucher, and finally, monitoring my voucher and others for errors.
Let's take on those tasks, Kate. Again, start by clicking the AP WorkCenter tile. Using the navigation panel on the left, Open the Links section. From here, click the Vouchers folder. Since we first need to search for suppliers, let's scroll down a bit to the Review Suppliers page to review supplier information. After completing your review, you'll be ready to enter the voucher. To do so, refer back to the Vouchers folder. Click the Regular Entry page. Add any needed information and click Save. This will submit your voucher for processing. Now, Kate can complete her last task, which is monitoring vouchers. Scroll up to My Work and click Budget Check Errors under Voucher Exceptions. As well, monitor your submitted vouchers by clicking Vouchers Submitted for Approval. Kate can also access key AP WorkCenter queries and reports. For example, she can run the Voucher on Payment Hold query to ensure no vouchers have a payment hold. And she can run the Prompt Pay report to verify her agency's vouchers are paid on time.
Thanks, narrator. WorkCenters really can bring my tasks into one workplace.
Exactly, and those benefits apply for each of Cardinal Financial's configured WorkCenters, including GL, AP, EX, AR, Billing, Procurement, Projects and Contracts, which again are located on the Cardinal Financial's homepage and display based on your security roles. Your one-stop shop to get your tasks done.
So as we saw in the video, WorkCenters bring together items requiring attention and also provide easy access to frequently visited pages and easy access to the most frequently run queries and reports. Now, in a few minutes, I will do a live demonstration of the Project Accounting WorkCenters. But first, let's go over a few slides to help us see what these two WorkCenters are all about. Now, the Projects WorkCenter is designed to be a central hub for project managers to provide easy access to their work. It provides links to frequently visited pages and most frequently run queries and reports. This WorkCenter is designed to reduce navigation time and help you work more efficiently. I'll cover this WorkCenter in a little more detail during the demo. The Contracts WorkCenter is designed to be a central hub for contract managers to provide easy access to their work. It's similar to the Projects WorkCenter. It has links, queries, and reports as well, but it also has what we call the My Work section. Now, My Work in many of the WorkCenters functions as a to-do list, but in the Contracts WorkCenter, it's more informational. It contains lists of different types of exceptions that may need review or correction. The My Work section only shows up for users with the Contracts Manager security role. Now, WorkCenters also include filtering options, both default filters and temporary filters that allow you to tailor the data that displays. A job aid will be available at Go Live that walks you through these different filtering options step by step and will be a helpful reference as you begin using the upgraded WorkCenters. And in a few minutes, we'll walk through an example of each of these filters. Well, it's time for our live demonstration. So we're going to take a few minutes to do this, focusing again on the Projects and Contracts WorkCenters. And I'm now going to share my screen. All right, so I've logged in to our Cardinal training environment, which is set up to look just like Cardinal will after the upgrade. And we're going to start right here on the upgraded Cardinal Financials page. Now you can see a lot of these words are familiar, a lot of these titles you've seen before, but now everything is organized by tiles with these squares, right? The tiles that display will vary based on your security roles. So you may have more or less than this. We also have in the upper right-hand corner, the nav bar button. It's this little button here that looks like a compass. And when we click here, and then we click on the menu, this is essentially the main menu that we have in the current version of Cardinal Financials with all of the submenus and pages organized in the same way, in the same order. Now with the upgrade, we can customize, the interface just a little bit. If we click on this little gear, the personalized navbar button in the corner, one of the things we can do, for example, is we can list everything alphabetically instead of in the previous order. So that's an option. We won't do that today, though. I'm just going to Going to cancel out of here, and we're going to move on to the work centers we've been talking about so much. Quick note, the Projects and Contracts WorkCenters are visible only to users with the applicable project accounting security roles. Users with read-only access will continue to access these pages through the nav bar as they do today with the main menu. I'll start by clicking the Projects WorkCenter tile. And let me take a moment to review the overall page layout before covering some of the other details. The left side of the screen, the left side of the Work Center, is called the navigation panel. This panel controls what displays over here on the right side of the Work Center, which is the transaction panel. So the navigation panel includes sections in orange, and within these sections are bolded words, which are folders. And folders contain pages that you use frequently, or as we'll see in the Contracts Work Center, items that may need attention. The Projects Work Center contains 3 sections: links, queries, and reports/processes. By the way, if you think the navigation panel is taking up too much space, not a problem. Just click this button right here with 2 lines, and you can hide or bring back the navigation panel. Now, that's especially useful with some of the pages like general information, which have a lot on the screen. Let's take a look at the links section first. That's where we're going to start. And this section has the folders project costing, project budget, and other links, which contain the most commonly visited project-related pages. So for example, to create a new project, you simply go to the Define Project General Info page, which you'll notice was the default page. It opened by default when we came into this Work Center. And let's click the Add a New Value button. And this is how we would start the process of creating a project. Just like before, all the functionality is still here, just like today. And of course, by clicking, we cancel that. We're not going to create a new project. If we click Find an Existing Value, we can also look up a project. Right? But before we do that, you'll notice that the layout, this screen looks a little bit different than the current version. Right? Some of the fields have actually moved over to a second column over here on the right side. Don't worry, we can still use the keyboard to tab through these, and also all the same fields are here. Just looks a little bit different. So I'm going to look up a project really quickly here. So I've opened up a project, and this should look familiar. The fields and buttons and links are all still here. Again, they just may look a little bit different or be laid out a little bit differently. All the tabs are here just like today, right? General information, projects, right here, projects distribution, all the information that you're used to looking at here within the project general information screen. It's all still here. We haven't removed any functionality. The second page within project costing is Define Project Activities. The link, by the way, is still available for this, but we can also click here once we've looked up a project, and we can move directly into project activities for that project. Now let's look at the query section within this Work Center. So we've looked at links. Let's take a look at queries. Here we have some project queries. This section contains the most run and must run project accounting queries. This includes queries for expenditures, transfers, funding sources, project payroll transactions, and more. You'll notice they're listed here in the Work Center by description rather than by name. Let's go ahead and click on one of these just to take a look. Right. Notice that you can run these queries from right here in the Projects Work Center. They're gathered in one place. They're easy to get to. Now, you may look at this list and say, but there's a query that I need. It's not listed here. That's fine. If that's the case, you can come back up here to links, and under other links, we have our query viewer. And here I can run a search. And all of the PA queries still exist. No functionality has been removed. Now let's check out the reports and processes section. As far as project accounting goes, it's just reports. The folder here contains the most commonly run project reports, such as financial summary by program, funding source reports, and the project overview. Let's go to the project overview report. So we simply select a report, enter or select a run control ID or create a new one and process it. So in this case, I've set up a run control ID for this. So I can click search and can click run. I won't run this report now, but as you can see, you can run these reports again right here in the Work Center. Well, that wraps up our look at the Projects Work Center. Now let's switch over to the Contracts Work Center. Notice up here on the search bar, we have a little home button that we can click. I'll click that, and we're back to the Cardinal Financials homepage. And now I'll click the Contracts Work Center tile. Now notice when you open the Contracts Work Center, the My Work section is displayed by default. And in particular, the past due billing events page under billing exceptions. It'll always show up here by default. The Contracts Work Center includes 4 sections: My Work, and again, links and queries and reports and processes. All right, so we'll start with My Work, and you'll notice this is just the same as the Projects Work Center, except we have My Work in this case. And the My Work section is a quick source for lists of exceptions related to contracts. These are basically queries that you could have run, but now they're always ready for you to review. And let's take a look at a few of these pages in the My Work section. First of all, invalid bill plans. When I try to click on this, you'll notice nothing comes up, and that's because we don't have any invalid bill plans. But if we did, this would show contracts where if there's an invalid customer or there's no customer address or something like that, anything that would prevent the contract from going to billing, that would show up here. Good news, we have great validation built into our system. We don't have any invalid bill plans showing up. But if I click the past due billing events, which is where I am by default, here we'll see a list of contracts where billing events haven't processed. So from here, you can directly open the contract or the bill plan. So let's just pick one at random here. Let's click our Actions button right here, and we can open up our bill plan. Notice it opens in a new browser tab up here. Right, and we can now do what we need to do, figure out why this didn't bill. I'll close this tab for now. And again, all this information is right here in the Work Center, available for review. Let's take a look at plans on hold. And notice that there are nearly 900. You'll see a number here in green next to plans on hold in our navigation bar, and it says 893. So a lot of plans on hold. That's a pretty unmanageable list. Well, fortunately, like I mentioned before, we can filter and narrow down this list a bit. So first, as I was saying before, we have two different types of filters, temporary and default. First, we're going to do a temporary filter using this drop-down arrow in our plans on hold list. Okay, so let's say that I want to filter this list so it only shows where the hold reason is because we're waiting for a prepaid to process. So in this case, I want to come down here to hold reason. I want to leave it at equals. I'm going to click this lookup button. And there it is, PPD, process prepaids, and then click done. And now my plans on hold has gone down to 3 rows. So I can see just the ones that are because we're waiting on prepaids. And keep in mind, this is a temporary one-time filter. It's very simple to reset. If I click plans on hold again, over here in the navigation bar, suddenly I'm back to my nice long list of nearly 900 plans on hold. Okay. But what if you want to always see a more specific subset of this list? Well, we can do that by using modifying our default filters. So to do that, we have this little gear button up here, the personalize button, and then edit filters. And now we have all of our different filters within this work center organized in folders. So let's take a look at plans on hold. Again, that's the one that we're focused on with all of those different plans in there. And here what we can do, let's say, for example, that we only want to show contracts associated with the federal customer. That would be in the sold to customer field. And actually, that's a lot still. So let's say everyone not associated with the federal customer. Let's say not sold to customer. And then in here, I'll enter that customer ID, which I know many of you have memorized. 002. Okay, we'll click done and click done again. Now notice when I come out of here, it takes me back to past due building events. That's not the one we're focused on. We're looking at plans on hold, remember? So I'll click back there to get back to it. Notice where it used to say 893 in that green circle right here, it now says 14. Right, so we've definitely filtered down this list quite a bit. And what's really nice about this is that when we go out of this work center, we log off, we come in the next day or another time. When we come back into the contracts work center, it's still there, still filtered the same way. That's why we call it a default filter, because we've edited that. So until we go in and make a change in here again, it's going to stay this way. One final note, by the way, before we leave filters behind, is that plans on hold can be filtered by the person associated with the hold. So setting that filter so it only shows your holds might be something that you want to consider doing. Okay, let's take a look at a few other things pretty quickly. Because we went over these in the previous job center and the projects work center, sorry. We're not going to spend a lot of time on these here, but under links, we have folders for customer contracts, federal contracts, project costing, billing, and other links. All right. So These folders contain our most visited pages for contracts. For example, if you needed to review general contract information, we could go to Customer Contracts, go to Define Contract General Info, and I'm just going to put a contract number in here. And again, pages and tabs should all look familiar. No functionality has been removed. Now, the queries section we're familiar with already from the Projects Work Center, but this time it includes the most frequently run contract queries. And again, they can be run right here in the Contracts Work Center. Billing history, contract information, billing interface errors, federal validation queries, and more. If a query isn't listed, again, we can go back to the links section, other links, and the query viewer, right? Just like we did before. We have our query viewer there too. All right. And under reports and processes, this includes contract reports such as federal contract status and financial activity. Simply click the report and choose your run control and process it as usual. And that concludes my demonstration of the Projects and Contracts Work Centers. Hopefully you can see how these enhanced work centers are structured to be your one-stop location for most of your project accounting and contract related needs. We've created detailed job aids, including an overview of the Cardinal Financials Work Centers, which will be available to you at Go Live. These job aids cover everything discussed today and more. I also hope you're excited about the Cardinal Upgrade and the improvements that will help you work more efficiently. As Kate from the video said, wouldn't it be nice to have one place to access your tasks? Well, now you do. And with that, I'll pass it back to Monica.
Thanks, Eric. Hopefully Eric's live demonstration gave you a good preview of what's to come. Do we have any questions or comments in the chat?
So there was one question from Nicole that was posted in the chat just about, does the customer work center differentiate between federal and non-federal contracts for the end user? And as you saw, Tony had said, doesn't differentiate, but you can use that filter component that Eric was just demonstrating. And you can use those different types. So you can say in, not in, so you can kind of see what the differences are there. But that's the only question that we have so far.
Okay, we're gonna move on and talk about next steps. We've added a new upgrade page to the Cardinal website. Here you will find links to all of your upgrade communications, special videos and infographics, as well as recordings and presentation decks from each of our webinars and much more. Keep checking this page regularly as we continue to add resources. And please, we would love your feedback and would appreciate you taking a brief survey. Just scan the QR code here on the slide to begin. I don't see any questions.
And thank you very much for attending. We don't have the questions in the chat, but you can always reach out. And you know, Tony is always here to answer anything you've got on your mind. And again, plug in that amazing feedback form. If you don't mind doing that, that would be great. And Monica, close us out.
All right, so that brings us to the end of today's session. On behalf of the entire Cardinal team, we just want to say a genuine thank you for carving out time in your busy day to be here with us. Comments and questions, all of it, it's just exactly what helps us make these resources as useful as possible for you. So we're excited about what's to come in September. We hope today gave you a clear picture of what to expect. Keep powering through your week. Take care and have a wonderful rest of your day.